Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another Pro2 commentary done by Luminous. Today I have a treat for you guys, Navi versus DTS. This replay is about a month ago, perhaps 3 weeks ago, and since then we have a little bit of roster change. As you know, DTS is no longer DTS, and part of DTS merged with their, so M is not here anymore, M for Mag, 333 is not here as well, and I think one more person is not here. So this roster is no more. But I've been told that this replay is absolutely insane, so I'll be canceling regardless. Navi, you guys should know, the second player is Havos, Dandy Life Heaven Art. So, yep, let's look at the pick and draft. Back when this happened though, Navi, I think, just recently came off a win in the Star Series land, and this is before they took their vacation. So perhaps they're not practicing the best, but that shouldn't mean any excuse for a win or loss. But Leshrac, Chen, and Panduran Brewmasters being banned up here. Meanwhile, we have Lycanthrope, Furion, and a Brewmother. So, Navi will get the first choice at an Invoker or a Darkseer, and of course they are going to slam pick a Darkseer. Invoker first pick, in my opinion, is more than a trap. It's really a trap. I'm sure teams like Navi will make it work because they're Navi, they're just that good. But I haven't seen team first pick Invoker and win, actually, in the last couple weeks. So, team first pick Darkseer and win, though. However, we've seen that quite a bit. And Darkseer is one of those heroes that does so many things so well. You want versatile laning, he gives you jungling, long lane, he could protect, even solo mid. We don't see it often, but he definitely can do that. You want team fight, vacuum, wall, one of the best team fight. You want small scale engagement, you got the Iron Shell, you got the Surge. You want to escape a hero that can help you escape, Surge got you covered. You want a hero that can help you gank, Surge and Vacuum's got you covered. Whatever you want, this guy covers you up. He kind of reminds me of Invoker in the sense that he's a jack of all trades, but he's better than Invoker in a lot of sense because he sometimes is even better in terms of versatility. Now, speaking of the Invoker, he's looking a little bit like a Baus on the other side of the map here with the Tie Hunter as a pickup. And we have Windrunner and Enchantress immediate snap pick. So Darkseer can be jungling, but we won't be seeing that here today. Enchantress is going to be taking the jungle role, Light of Heaven. Actually, where the hell is that Windrunner going to be going to? We're going to see a solo mid Windrunner perhaps, because the Darkseer is going to be on the solo lane. So solo mid Windrunner is actually fairly decent, in my opinion. We see a lot of teams done that in the past, most notably Nyx Kazakhstan's Mantis. His solo mid, perhaps Migo from Wolves. His solo mid is actually solo mid Enchantress, solo mid Windrunner is very strong as well. I feel like Windrunner a lot of time is pigeonholed into a role that, yeah, she could long lane decently, but I mean, she's gonna lose out in terms of EXP and gold. But if you give him the solo mid, she delivers big time in terms of having an accelerated force staff, accelerated mecha, and there's many times in the past I talked about how early mecha win games, and you know, if you could farm it fairly decently in a solo mid position, then. Now, obviously, not solo mid just yet, so we'll have to wait and see. Perhaps we're going to see a better solo mid hero. We'll see. DTS, 2 picks into the draft, thinking a little bit here, wondering how they would counteract against the Enchantress, who's going to be coming out of jungle ganking like crazy, and it's going to be a Death Prophet. Now, Death Prophet, back in the time when this was picked, and she's no longer the case, had about like an 80% win rate. The sample size was fairly small, well, it's like 6, 7, 8 games then. But still, 80% win rate for a hero is absurdly high, and perhaps they're going to be using it on the back of that win rate to carry themselves, even more victory. And Crowbless really came out of the East European scene. The teams like DTS, M5, they really took this hero and brought it to the next level. We always knew that she's kind of a fringe pick. She's a decent pusher, had capable weapons against certain heroes. For example, she's really good against the Brewmaster. You have Silence against the Brewmaster. She doesn't care really too much about the Spoder Bash stun. She doesn't really care too much about the Cyclone because her Exorcism deals a lot of damage. So she has a lot of strength against a lot of heroes, and a lot of captains knew about it. But it wasn't until this week, or the week of the replay that was played, that she kind of excelled and was winning a lot of game, and people kind of realized Exorcism is holy crap, it's a really strong spell, and I personally put it up in my top 5 pushing spell of all time. Exorcism is really no joke, and Death Prophet is third pick being here. Now, the Silence is going to be absolutely key against a hero like Darkseer. Sure, he's excellent if you get his spells off, but if he's not, if he's silenced, well, obviously he sucks. So Death Prophet, there's a lot of pressure on Death Prophet in terms of getting stuff done. Venomancer Enigma is going to be the ban here for the Radiant. Meanwhile, Night Stalker and Sand King, the bans for DTS. Shaker is going to be the fourth pick here by Navi. Haven't seen Navi play too many Shakers. They definitely is a bigger fan of Sand King. And we're going to see Bane Elemental here being picked up by DTS. Another one of those East European pick. We've seen Artstyle pick it from time to time. Sometimes you see Navi pick it time to time as well. So it's one of those heroes that's a little bit odd. I'll talk about it in momentarily as we see Morphling being the last picker for Navi. So kind of a little bit different from traditional Navi playstyle. Now you might be saying, oh, that's a Morphling, so Navi's going to go for a late game win. No. Morphling is a great pusher in his own right as well. I mean, how many times do you see one team, Morphling's teammates pushing as 4 on one side of the map, and then Morphling by himself just pushing on the lane because he has a Ring of Krilla, Treads, and Lincoln Sphere. He knows he's not going to get ganked, or if he's going to get ganked, he's probably going to survive those ganks. So he could actually push and farm very, very aggressively and apply pressure all over the map. Would help a waveform replicate and whatnot. So Morphling is a pushing hero, and Navi will be using him to push. At least I hope, for the sake of me being correct. Let's talk about this Bane Elemental. Now, when I see teams like M5 play it, Vigos plays it solo mid, and we see a Razor as well. Hold up, like these are some of the craziest hero I've seen from DTS. DTS also runs Bone Clings as one of their heroes, but never mind that. Razor as a tanky carry, I personally really hate Razor because you have to buy tank items to make him tank, and he really relies on his link to do the DPS. But it's not a really reliable way to get the DPS because many heroes could just simply walk out of it. You could surge your teammate out of it, and like depending on that link for damage is really, yeah. I personally dislike the hero. He fills his inventory slot with tanky item, and if the game ever goes really late, he's not going to really deliver. And that's just a standard Razor build, though. Let's see if DTS is going to play a little bit different in terms of their Razor. We have awesome play on the Razor. I always want to fly on the TIE Hunter. 3-3-3 on the Bane. He usually plays a support, but in this case, yeah, it is going to be support. You bought the chicken here. We have M-Mag going to be going mid with an Invoker, and on top lane here is going to be Jackal on the crop. Me on the bot here, we have Havos playing the Morphling. We have Puppy on the Enchantress. Arzar is going to be playing the Shaker. Light of Heaven going to be on the long lane Darkseer. It's going to be Dendy, the Windrunner. Always a big fan of Dendy, and he's going to be dazzling us with Shaco shots, I imagine. Fizzer was dropped for a little bit of harass. Now, we've seen Vigos play Bane, and the way that he plays it, he rush a phase boots and really extends your cast range of Finscript. Finscript's cast range isn't too particularly impressive. It gets better later on in the game, or I feel like it scales upwards. I actually don't know for sure, and it doesn't say here, which should say. I don't know why. Like, cast range is such an important part of the spell. I don't know why it never says on the tooltip. I feel like it is one of the more important parts. Like, can you imagine Abysmal Blade having 100 cast range versus having, let's say, a 500 cast range? Like, it makes the item broken to kind of thing. So I don't know why Valve don't put cast range, because it is extremely... Alright, let me double check if this actually says here and I'm blind. No, it doesn't say. No, it doesn't say. I feel like the cast range gets better, but I'm not sure. Any case, what I'm trying to say is that Vigos, when he plays this hero, he always gets phase boot. And because of the burst of speed that you get with the phase boot, it kind of just like basically increase your Fiend script. And what he does, what Bane Elemental does not many other support do, is the fact that he could stun for a long time. And I'm talking about the sleep here. For example, if you're Crystal Maiden and you see an enemy hero, you could Nova and you could bite and then you just run back. But Bane Elemental has the option of sleep, and then your teammate could be like, oh, he's sleeping, let me TP in now. Like, you literally have 5 to 6 seconds to just think about what you want to do, because that sleep is such a long time. Whereas a Crystal Maiden, you see enemy like right here, you can Nova and bite, and by the time your teammate teleports in, he's long gone. So that's the difference that Bane Elemental gives you, especially when you do keep up your early towers. So one of the, the more interesting aspect as a Bane on a support. But let's check out how we're doing in the mid lane here, as both the heroes are salved up. Dendy has went for power shot first, and no wind run, and that might be an issue. Nope, these guys are scouted by a Wild Gun creep. And Max should have the advantage, given the fact that he has really high damage. But Dendy's animation's slightly a little bit better. Dendy is going for bottle first. He did go down to... He stayed for a 100 gold as his early starting item. But look at him. He's getting harassed down so much. And it looks like they're trading hits. Windrunner was the skill choice. Sunstrike is going to get dodged. Yeah, he still have yet another salve. He started out with 2 salves. That's somewhat unstandardized. We see a little bit of engagement in the jungle. Sleep slowing down Puppy here. A Shaker on top of him right now. There's a Gush on Puppy to slow him down. 333 might be in a little bit of trouble. He doesn't have the Brain Sap because he's only level 1. He's going to go down. Nice salve. Just outside range. Arzad's trying to get enough mana for a fissure. He's going to finally have it right now. He's going to drop it regardless. Puppy, 3 more hits away. 2. No, he's going to be fine. Dendy though, he's looking for the power shot. He's not even going to try for it. Not going to be enough. And it looks like he's going to just shoot up on the low ground against Max. So a lot of punches being traded. But I think Navi got the better end of that exchange as they did send a Bane all the way back. It's only level 1 still. So one of the big weakness of a Bane Elemental on support especially is that he is so level dependent. I mean, you want to max your Nightmare as it does scale to that 7 seconds and really gives you the ability to do what I talked about earlier, where you Nightmare and then you teleport, or your teammate teleport in to help out. Just a level 1 Nightmare is not enough, so you want to max a Nightmare. Obviously, you max a Brain Sap and you take Fiend's Grip whenever you can. Enfeeble is not that bad of a skill in the late game choice as well. It puts a stress on his mana pool, but you want to have it regardless. So what I'm trying to say is that this hero is so level dependent. Unfortunately, he's not getting too many of it because he's dying, or he's being forced back. Meanwhile, Light FM on the top lane here has already got a Ring of Regen, and he's looking for a Soul Ring, obviously. I think Jacko will also get a Soul Ring. No, he's got it finished. And Soul Ring on Croblis is absolutely no joke. And the reason I know that's absolutely no joke is I personally was a doubter. Oh my god, my family cannot talk. They just yell. So let me close my door. No first blood just yet, so I'm all good. As I say here, 333 might be a little bit of trouble. There's a sleep, and are we going to have a slow and a little bit blocking from Hovos and the stun here? 333 might be in trouble, but look at the big damage. Sunstrike, that's going to hit on Puppy. Looks like a first blood traded. The lightning was on the Morphling. Morphling is going to take a little bit of damage. Gush is coming out of cooldown in 1 second. He's going to Gush the Morph. I think Morph should be fine. He's morphing the string just to make sure he's going to be okay. Always want to fly. Not enough physical DPS. Is that a perfect block? I don't think it is, but we'll have to find out in just a bit. The damage comes in as we see Archshaker gets 1 kill. He's still a lot of HP from Strength Morph. It seems like Awesome Play was unable to get that kill. Dandy's looking for the rune. He's gonna get the rune, and perhaps trying to deny it with his right click. And now Dandy on back. He's trying to get the kill. Ghost Walk. No, he actually invoked Cold Snap, and the power shot's not gonna hit. So Boots of Speed is gonna get purchased by the winner. It seems like the Invoker having a little bit of trouble. He went for the Boots of Speed first, which is completely standard. But that means that now Dandy's gonna basically out-regen him quite a bit. Sure, you have Quas, 3 HP per second. That's cute. But I have a bottle, and I get 70 HP regen in a matter of seconds. So, or no, 150, right? 135. Okay. They kept changing that number. It was 150 for a long time, and 75, I think, or was it 85? Yeah. They kept changing it. So that is my defense for not knowing exactly. We want the bot lane here. A little bit more harass on Morphling. Now, of course, in Razor's build, he's leveling up the nuke and he's leveling up Chain. Some players like to put 1 point into an unstable current depending on the hero that you're facing up against. And actually, it might not be a bad idea to put 1 point against Enchantress, but no, he's going to go for the Link. That's more the standard build. Personally, I like 1 point into unstable current because it does give you like that 3% movement speed. Isn't the biggest deal, but hey, every little bit helps. Anyways, in that earlier, before that, I think I was trying to talk about Soul Ring as he might be in a little bit of trouble. The fissure, no! The Surge is casted, but Puppy, get the hell out of the way! I think because of Puppy blocking, Jacko's gonna be fine. He has the phase boots. Puppy. Somebody fine. Alright, so anyways, I was talking about the Soul Ring on Croblis. And the reason I know it's actually fairly broken is I'm a player that can't last it for sure, and I like my lane control skill is not that good because I can't last it and whatnot. But one time I was a doubter of Death Prophet Soul Ring. I was like, you know what? I see all these pro players do it. Let me try it out. And it was magical. Like, I just win my lane. Like, I don't need a last hit if I nuke them every time I see them. And of course, you want to layer a nuke so you could get it in like 2 or 3 last hits as well. So it grants you so much lane control. Now, I'm not saying Jacko can't last it. In contrary to that, he lasted like a boss, and also gets so much more lane control. Generally, Darkseer has a fairly decent advantage against most heroes, but like a Soul Ring Death Prophet is no joke. So you see Shaker waiting on the wings, man. There's some ninja tactics over here. Generally, you see a Pudge over here, not a Shaker though. But a Mag not falling for it, not walking up that high hill. And Dendy's starting to get a little bit of right click. So far, kind of a little bit of action here and then, but really not much. Bane is still looking for the gank. He's only level 2. My god, this Bane's going to have a tough time once the mid-game comes. But for now, let's check out how we're doing to him to go. Dire leading by 250. Nothing to write home about. Individual farm rise. We got 29 on Light of Heaven, 28 on Dendy. Fairly decent farm. I guess 22 on... Actually, we're 7 minutes in the game. That's like three or four creeps a minute. That's horrible farm for the player of his caliber, but you gotta keep in mind there's quite a bit of roaming going on from both sides here. Fissure, ooh, not hitting the correct side. Power shot missing. Shaco's shot does hit though. We have the backstab coming here for Puppy. Is he gonna get off the kill? Sunstrike's gonna be cast. That's gonna hit on Dendy. He's losing HP very rapidly. Power shot, is it gonna be attempted? No. A teleportation comes in right now. They're gonna go on Arzard. Can he survive it? And yes, he will. Great TP from Arzard. You know, Puppy's still chasing. We have a salve up. The salve gets canceled. And now Puppy's gotta turn back. He does have the group tanky for him. But does he have a teleport scroll? No, he does not. So he's slowly, doesn't have breach of speed. He's slowly trying to walk out there. And now Tidehunter looking for him. Tidehunter does not have mana for Gush. And I think he should be fine. Another creep gets dominated. Enchantress kind of juking all day long. And I don't really think that these guys should spend too much time looking for him. They're not really going to get a... Well, they're going to try. They're going to try as we see a double damage. Rune being picked up by Dendy. Dendy's going to go for a 3-3 against 2 heroes. That's kind of bold. He gets Shaco. He's going to get slept. No slept. No sleep. No nightmare. What? Why not? Meanwhile, Puppy still kind of juking all around this Tidehunter. His time is being wasted. Oh, but there's going to be the link. There's going to be already a boot speed on Razor. And Puppy without the boots, he's finally going to go down. But that literally was like a minute of his time wasted. Nice Sunstrike here. And Razor gets that kill. He's up to 500 gold after a Ring of Health. I wonder what build he's going to be going for. Perhaps Vanguard Hood. Perhaps that build that Ian James Barnett and I both hate so much. There's a couple of things that there's not many things I hate about Dota. I hate one of those things I do hate about Dota is Vanguard Hood. I hate Razor as a hero, and I really hate Vanguard Hood as an item build. And if he does get it, I'll definitely hate on it a little bit as I talk about why. As we see Dendy being harassed down a little bit in the mid lane here. Max looking for Sunstrike. He doesn't even have the mana for it, but he will have it now. Unfortunately, he did get sprung. Dendy is going to survive to fight another day. His bottle is going to be coming back on the curve and is hasting back in. Morphing on the bot lane, getting a little bit shut down. Yeah, so earlier before that engagement happened, I was trying to say, man, these guys got no farm. Of course, LFM is leading the board. No, as I say that. Yeah, never mind. 60 CS on Jacko and that Soul Ring. Yes, I talked about how Soul Ring is actually pretty broken, right? On Crop, yeah. It is legitimate broken. He's got 6 a minute, which, I mean, we're kind of expecting a pro player to do that, but hey, it's still good to see. In combination to Light of Heaven, he's only got, what, 5 a minute? 4 a minute? Hasterin gets picked up here by M. He's going to get out here. Fairly slow start for the game, but I imagine the game will heat up. Morphling's got 33, which is 3 a minute. That's horrible. Dendy's only got 4 a minute, which is, again, really below par. But this game's, I mean, there's only 2 kills each, but there's so much roaming going on that it's somewhat to be expected that these players are not getting the best of farm. So, in terms of teams not getting the best of farm, I gotta favor Navi a little bit more here. The heroes don't use farm, or they're not as farm dependent. Now, there's a Morphling, and he's very, very farm dependent. But for a hero like Windrunner, for a hero like Enchantress and Shaker, like, they don't really care that they don't get too much farm. And also, as Navi, you are going to get quite a bit of tower here. We see Arzard being picked off. And are they going to... No, they're not going to go chase for that Enchantress. Meanwhile, Dendy, unfortunately, going to bot lane to try to set up a gank and not really getting it off. He has a smoke of the seat. That's what's been holding on to that one for quite a bit of time. So far as all the praise I've been giving to Dendy, he's not really that effective. And again, this game is fairly slow, so we're not seeing a lot of chances of like great hero killing potential, but hopefully we'll see it. Mid tower gets destroyed, and that's 500 gold going towards Navi's side, and that could be big. I mean, 500 gold is not a lot, but when there's no tower being pushed down, this is Navi. Generally, like 4 tier 2 towers are, there's no 4 tier 2 towers in the game, but 4 exterior towers are destroyed by now, like against a normal game of Navi, but seems like Navi is not wanting to push, and perhaps can't get off a push. Nice shackle shot, power shot, and we're going to see great chain stunning from Navi, and that's a little bit more like it. Navi picks up that 1 kill, perhaps going to go for a little bit more. Regardless, then he has secured himself the next rune, or a good position to grab the next rune as the 12-minute rolls in. That's going to give quite a bit of time for Jacko to farm up. He is going to go for a Mecha. Mecha on Crop is kind of a fairly standard item choice, as we see DD gets picked up here by the TIE Hunter. And the reason it's so good is that, first of all, Jacko is probably the best farmer on his team, and he's the best mech carrier. I guess Bane could carry a mech, but Bane's not going to get a mech in any time. And meanwhile, Jacko's going to hit his mech in about just, I guess, 2 more minutes of free farm. An early mech is one of the more game-changing items in the game. Can you imagine everyone's at 800 HP, and you're healing them for at least 30 to 40% of their health? If you're looking at it like that, it's actually quite broken. And that's why early mech rush on Jacko is big time, as we see engagement happening on the bot lane. Sorry for missing that one. Morphling somehow went down. TIE Hunter a little bit of trouble. The Link doing massive amount of damage, 230 damage. So imagine, I think a combo that I forgot to mention is Link into sleep. Is that it? Is that how they got it? No, he was up top lane, and of course I missed that kill as I tried to catch a tail. And the action there, I don't think Link actually wakes you up from the sleep. That's pretty broken. Sleep for 7 seconds and steal all your damage? Oh man, that's saucy. That's spicy. We'll see how the team fight goes later on. I'm sure we'll see more chances of seeing that. Jacko, Exorcism is ending, so fortunately was not able to bring down the tower. But what we saw there was a sleep for the setup, and then, or perhaps they were engaging the Darkseer. Darkseer tried to surge you out and then sleep to cancel the surge duration, and then they just killed him fairly easily afterwards. But let's go back to the mech point here on Jacko. He finished it very easily. It replenished a lot of people's health, and if you do pop it, your mech is actually gives you more effective HP than a Vanguard. Mathematically, it gives you and your team more HP than a Vanguard. So it's a very, very good item. Of course, that Prophet generally should have enough mana to pop it, especially if you're going for the Soul Ring build. So overall, very standard build on a Death Prophet. And he is going to be going for perhaps a Vid booster, and then into whatever item he feels necessary. Death Prophet is one of those heroes that really could get any item and to be effective. All you have to do is stay alive. And sometimes you need item to help you stay alive. Sometimes you just need to have good teammates to help you stay alive. So her item choices are fairly free. Personally, I'm a big fan of Phase Boot and Yule Scepter as my item after mech. When they actually decide to focus you, you heal yourselves for 2.5 seconds. And the concentrated DPS of Exorcism, as well as with your teammate, like it really forced them off you. So, but I'm not seeing pro player do that. I think pro player likes to go for things like Mech Vanguard, Mech Heart, Mech Shivas. There's a lot of item choices, and we'll see what Jacko actually decides to get. Morphling being forced away from the bot, he actually got a Magic Bottle. Now, Magic Bottle is not the most odd choice, especially for a hero like Morphling. What you can do with the Morphling is perhaps you could make a replica of your enemy hero, you TP back, of course you use all your bottle charges, and if you need healing, and then you TP back, and then you replicate back in the lane, full HP, full mana, full bottle. It really allows you to stay on lane forever. And because he has actually gone for a bottle, I might not think he's going to go for the Lincoln Sphere. Now, Lincoln Sphere is a good item on Morphling overall, but one of the better reasons you get the Lincoln Sphere is for the late game survivability, as well as the build-up. It's a really good build-up, having Perseverance into it. So, because of that, I think we're going to see a Manta first, which isn't bad per se. It's just a little bit different. Light of Heaven is going to be pushing on the top lane with this team, and Jacko, again, is going to be slowly, hitting everyone down. And with Max Witchcraft, there's like a 5-second cooldown on Kyrian Swarm. That's why it's actually very, very strong. As we see Light of Heaven trying to search himself out. TIE Hunter chasing away Arzar. I think they want Arzar. Arzar's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to eat a Cold Snap, and the Sunstrike, it's going to follow up. Sunstrike's not even hitting. But they definitely did not need it, as the physical right hits wasn't enough to bring him down. Is it Carrion Swarm? It's called Crypt Swarm. Carrion Swarm is a ladder spell on that Night Stalker hero. Or Crypt Lord, I think. Is it called Crypt Lord? No, Crypt Lord is that big spider, right? In any case, no, Crypt Lord is that Night Stalker hero. In any case, not called Carrion Swarm, but it will always be Carrion Swarm in my heart. Crypt Swarm, what the hell is that? As we see a push coming up here, are they going to use the Exorcism? Exorcism is level 2, but that grip, very long range, nice vacuum to cancel that one. The Ravage is used, only going to catch one. But there's a sleep. We talked about the sleep. Are they going to go on it? No, they're not. They're going to go for the tower. The tower is going to be destroyed. Fissure defensively being used. All on the fly is going to be A-OK here as well. And the wall being dropped. What an early level of the wall, but that wall, they could just walk past here. No, they're going to keep walking past the wall like a boss. And then destroy it and get healed back. Mech is finished up. Meaning on the bot lane here, Razor is being left to freeform for like all of eternity. Wasn't really pointing that one out. He actually destroyed the tier 1 tower as well. So speaking of towers, they got 2 tier 1 towers being destroyed. They deny their own tier 1 tower. So believe it or not, Navi's getting out pushed. And DTS is up by 3,000 gold. Yes. Again, we talked about how, or I talked about at the beginning how Navi is kind of rusty. They're not really practicing that much after the Star Series. But again, that should not be any type of excuse. Also, this is kind of not really Navi-esque as a lineup. Shaker, haven't seen them play too much of that. Morphling, haven't seen them play too much of that. And effectively, they got pretty shut down early on. They got no push going on. So this is kind of a different of the lineup. But I'm not going to take anything away from DTS. They're playing very well so far. Now, if you recently watched my cast between eHome and MBFC, I mean, a team could get ahead early, but generally the more experienced team come back and win the late game because, you know, again, that's what more experienced teams do. Vanguard is going to be the first item choice on Razor, and if he gets a hood, I'm about to go crazy as they are going to try to focus on Puppy. Puppy does have a healing wisp, so he's going to be fine. Are they going to try to set up a gank on Jack on the top lane here? There's a vacuum backwards, but no Shackle Shot to be attempt. Tier 1 tower in the mid lane getting siege upon, and this is the benefit of having an Exort Quas Invoker, getting those 2 or 4 spirit. At level 10, they do pack a punch, and they do go on the tower right now. Here comes Shaker as well defensively. Light of Heaven did TP. Are they going to really try to set up a team fight? I don't think it's going to work out, but as I say, that vacuum getting used. It looks like they're going to go in. Light of Heaven. His damage being drained, but nice Shackle Shot from Dendy. Tower's going to get destroyed by Invoker. I think that's all they want. Ooh, nice Force Staff out dodge, and looks like the Razor will survive. Nice sleep here against Dendy. Will that be enough? Morphling comes in. Max going to go down here. Shackle Shot not going to latch. Power Shot missing as well. 3-3 in a little bit of trouble. He does have mana for Brain Stab if he wants to use a Surge Beam casted. As we see, Tidehunter picks up a kill on the Shaker. Morphling is going to get the kill. He's going to keep on chasing for awesome play. Really can't get him. He is regenerating quite a bit as well. But Morphling picking up a kill, fairly decent exchange, but they lost a tier 1 tower for a double kill on Morph. I guess that's worth it. He got one on the Invoker as well. 5-8 in the favor of the Dire squad. It looks like Navi wants to ride their momentum and destroy this tier 1 on the top lane. You gotta keep in mind that Krob was not there in that engagement, and she would have really turned the scale. But seems like DTS not really actively wanting to defend that tier 2 as well. In my recent cast between eHome and MBFC, one of the things I mentioned is if you're losing tower, you're better getting something in return. And DTS kind of, well, they're getting to the Roach Pit. They're having positional advantage on the Roach Pit. I guess that matters. Blink Dagger first on Mac, which is a Blink Dagger after Force Staff, which 3 weeks ago was kind of the build on Exort Invoker. Nowadays, kind of been shifting away from that. Again, it's such a trendy thing. A lot of it, I mean, for caster like me, when I see a build like, oh, Force Staff Blink, there's a lot of mobility. It's all, you know, it's so good. Blah blah blah. And then 3 weeks later, when we see Force Staff Yule Scepter, they're like, oh, a lot of mana regeneration, a lot of int. Like, what I'm trying to say is, pro players, a lot of times, they follow each other's build. Someone comes up with a new build, and they're like, oh yeah, that's the de facto build now. When really all comes down to it, most of the items are just good. And any item that you get is, again, just good. Sure, there's going to be some build that's going to be better in most cases, but if you're getting items, it's good. So that's my defense for myself and a lot of other casters, when sometimes we're, you know, a little bit slow on the uptake on item. Because again, when a pro player try out a new build, they don't write a blog post and be like, oh, I think this build is good. I think they should. I think they really should write a blog post and explain to the community. It's like, oh yeah, man, I think Force-Staff Blink is good because of this, this, and this is why we're trying it. So when the casters are casting after they read the blog post, they could analyze and be like, oh well, does it fit that situation? Oh yes, it does, and that's why this build is good. So of course, that's why casters like myself kind of have to think and try to analyze why certain builds are better. Now speaking of builds, as we see, always want to fly is going to get ganked as he gets chainstun up to oblivion. Man, ankle slam being used as well. Let's examine how Blink Dagger and Force Staff is going to be good in this build. It's decent in terms of giving you a lot of mobility. That's what 2-item does. Mobility is kind of not that useful in my opinion though. Now mobility is always useful, don't get me wrong. But in this game where there's a surge, there's a wind runner, there's a morphling, that they're gonna be so mobile. I guess the idea is you're gonna get mobility to keep up with them. But I feel like Invoker in this game perhaps needs a little bit more tanky. I feel like Force Staff into an Acceptor might be a little bit better of a choice. It's definitely very offensive as a build, so he could always catch up and do crazy like kind of combo. But defensively, I guess it's also good. When you have mobility, you're strong defensively and offensively. I just feel like Blink Dagger, sure, it's good, but he's so weak. This is Luminous not like that was not a logical argument by any means. That's just something like my gut feeling tells me that Blink Dagger is not a decent item choice. But it's Mag, he's building it, so that's all the reason you'll ever need to say that Blink Dagger after Force Staff is good on Invoker. Looks like the push is coming on the mid lane here. They have the Exorcism, they have the Ravage, and this DTS squad is looking damn scary. It's so hard to actually walk into this and take a team fight. They gotta use the long range spell like Fissure, like Vacuum to really, looks like we have a Vacuum Fissure, 3-man Fissure that's gonna be decent, but it's gonna be Invoker destroying this. And you can see that despite a decent initiated, they don't want to fight this. First of all, their Morphling is trying to get farm and he's got nothing at this point. He does have a Manta. But Manta's 23 minutes is not going to be enough to stop this push. And here we go. DTS sensing that they have the momentary lead. They want to walk into the high ground here. They do have the Aegis as well. At least I thought they had the Aegis. Where's the Aegis? Is it on the Invoker? Yes, it is. Looks like the Exorcism is slowly doing the damage to the tower. It's getting sieged on upon. DTS very, very slow in their push. They're not going to walk up on the high ground. They're happy with the damage they dealt. And fair enough, they're going to port back right now. I talked about a lot about builds, but let me make sure that we are still on top of the item choices here. And yes, we have a Soul Booster after mech, so a lot more HP. He's going to go for things like Bloodstone afterwards. We have a Vanguard Hood, Vanguard Pipe! An awesome play. I'll talk about this in a bit. Of course, we talked about the Force Staff Blink and how that it does give you mobility and that does give you survivability as well as offensiveness. Although I'm a bigger fan of having a quick exit to let you cast like crazy. And then we have double arcane boots and embracer, and it looks like he's going to be going for drums on always want to fly. Meanwhile, on the enemy side, we have a Manta style finish, a Meg being finished on Dendy, no Force Staff just yet. He's working towards it. Pipe being finished on Light of Heaven, arcane boots up on him, and Shreds and double bracer up on Enchantress. So I talked about how I really despise Razor in terms of how he works as a hero and what item he's forced to go. Like, how he works as a hero is he static links to get damage, he steal damage, and then because his spell gives you so much damage, the logical conclusion is like, oh, well, all we have to do is now buy tank and he's going to do damage. First of all, the link is not really reliable in most cases. And second of all, if the game gets late enough, Razor normally cannot outcarry. Like, he just doesn't work as a hero. Now, that's how Razor normally works. I think he works perfectly here. Yes, Vanguard Pipe or not, he works perfectly in this case. Let's talk about a couple of reasons. First of all, I really hate Razor that goes for that build because he is the hardest farmer. I think about a year ago, or at the end stage of Dota 1, as we see this big engagement happening. So we'll talk about later on as we see Morphling perhaps a little bit of trouble. We see the initiation coming from the offensive. This is what you get the blink for. As he's going to Shaker, Shaker is going to drop all his spell before he dies. Pipe is pop here as we see the focus goes on the Enchantress. Enchantress losing damage very rapidly, and now the Razor is gaining a lot of it in return. The team fight is happening as we see a grip over here. The Exorcism doing a little bit of damage. Mac is losing HP very rapidly as well. It's going to be fine. Yes, it looks like the Darkseer has went down. Razor actually had went down to the Enchantress and the focus of the Morphling. Enchantress still alive here. Exorcism chasing people away. Then Dandy losing HP very rapidly. Key silence on top of him. Can he force out himself out? No, he cannot. Dandy has one down as well. Arzai got focused by Mag in the beginning of the fight, but it looks like Mag on top of it. Mag did die in that fight, and perhaps he bought back, perhaps he didn't. But in either case, seems like the fight went towards DTS. Jackal's CPS output is insane, and that wasn't even level 16 just yet. I thought the team fight started out fairly decently for the Dire squad, or for the Radiant squad for Navi, because, you know, Mac, he blinked in and he kind of used all of his AoE spell just for a shaker. You really don't want to start a fight like that when your AoE spells going on like a support hero. And Shaker eventually like still got off his spells, but the wall was down as well on top of a couple of DTS guys. So I thought the fight went out decently, but the exorcism just lasted for a long time. And the tie ravage was dropped, and you know, and here comes the push. Can Navi defend this one? Navi, one of the best thing that they do is the delay pushes so well. But it's kind of odd to see Navi in this position. Navi generally is doing this to their opponent, where they're just, you know, always on the verge of victory. And if you make one mistake against Navi, they will just push you in. DTS has got them on the ropes. They're getting items. Bloodstone was just finished. 333 adds an urn to his item. I really like this urn. Judging on how close these team fights have been, the team that wins the team fight and get those urn charges and is able to heal the teammate, it's a team that is going to be getting the tier 2 towers. It's going to be the team that's pushing Raxus. It's going to be the team that's doing the Roche. So I really like this item. I feel like it's one of the more underrated items in pro games. A lot of pros favor things like Medallion Courage more. As you see, initiation on Dandy, but you know, win plus 4 staff, a little bit difficult to initiate against. Always want to fly is 16 seconds away from that Ravage, but Jacko's going to pop the Exorcism right now. They are, Invoker did die in that last battle. He lost the Aegis. It was like, wasn't he low HP? Yeah, he was low HP, but good vacuum initiation, awesome play. Has to force to pipe the pipe, only on 2 heroes here, but Tower is going to get destroyed by Invoker regardless. Morphling comes on the background here. He gets silenced, he's going to lose damage in a big time, and look at this Razor. He's dealing about 200 damage. That's always a great start to team fight here. It looks like Jacko is still tanking everyone. Ravage just used, who are they using against? It's going to be Puppey. Puppey get brought down. Shackle Shot did hit on 2, but the damage from the Link is going to be running out very soon. Exorcism is going to be running out as well, and so far it seems like DTS cannot push in. Yeah, the Radiant lost Puppey, but just for a Puppey loss, they defended Rax. I think Navi is actually defending this very perfectly. They're gonna now chase his Mag. Can they get the kill on Mag? Shackle Shot, that's not gonna last. Power Shot's gonna hit him down, and then the push here, Adaptive Strike is gonna get a last hit. Very nicely played, very nicely defended by by Navi. Okay. Let me take a momentary pause because I feel like there's so much thing I want to talk about. But this game is just so action-packed. So let's talk about the defense of Navi. Notice how Navi did not fight the fight in their base. A lot of teams like, oh yeah, man, we have the uphill advantage. They are in a choke point. It makes sense to defend up on the high ground, up on the hill, because you get those natural advantages. But if you defend on the high ground, the natural advantage of the choke actually works a little bit better for the enemy team. You gotta keep in mind that Ravage hits the entire screen. So if you clump up like this, the Ravage will hit multiple heroes. You gotta keep in mind the Exorcism Ghost was flying around like crazy, as we see a gank. No, it's gonna be fine. You know the Exorcism Ghost is gonna be flying like crazy, so a lot of damage will go on the Rax if Jacko wants to focus on the Rax. I'm pretty sure he will want to focus on the Rax. So you might even lose your Rax at the midst of a team fight. And of course you gotta keep in mind the Link, if he gets that plus 200 damage and he sees a choice between hitting a Shaker, hitting an Enchantress, and hitting a Rax, guess what he'll take? He'll probably hit the Rax, and when you get one Rax up, you're in a good shape of winning the game. That was such a smart fight for Morphling to start out the fight in the background, to force a fight outside the base, and then sure, they lost Enchantress, but they defended. As Exorcism, as the Link, it's one of those spells that don't last forever, obviously. And when they run out, it's a good fight. We're going to see a Vacuum Initiation. Blink Echo! It's going to hit a couple hero. Wall's going to be on top. No Fissure because he was silenced. Our Cyrus is going to just drop down here. Awesome play, doing a little bit of damage. Light of Heaven again slowed down by the Ice Wall. Enchantress doing the right click. He's gonna get one more kill here. Morphling gets a double. Morphling wants a little bit more. He's gonna go for it. He's gonna get a triple. No, it looks like Enchantress get the last hit. Here comes Shaco. Look at his exorcism. Ghost just doing so much. He's gonna get the last hit. No, he's not. Puppy's gonna be fine. They're gonna kite Shaco all around. Rap's gonna be used. No, it looks like Morphling went back. He's gonna pay for it. Shaco's shot does hit. Are they really gonna fight this? No, Jacko's gonna heal back to full. And Navi is gonna have to back off at this point. So very smart team fight being taken on the outside of base by Navi. Another smart team fight being taken. I guess Hovos really did not expect the Ravage to be cooled down so quickly. It didn't feel like it was 150-second, but it definitely was. And that Ravage surprised Morphling, and he got the death there. If Morphling did not die there, I think that was a clear victory for Navi. But after that, I think it was a little bit more of a trade-off because Jacko hit a lot. He got a lot of kills. His Bloodstone's up to 8 or 9 charges, and he's got a play mail to boot as well. Now, I talked about Bloodstone in a recent cast between eHome and MEFC. Really, you should watch eHome versus MEFC if you haven't watched it by now, because it's sharing a lot of point. One thing I said about Bloodstone in that game is the fact that if you lose your carry, one of your strongest carry, you immediately get him respawn back very quickly, and thus you don't lose any kind of momentum if you have momentum pushing. And it seems like DTS definitely has a momentum right now, so they want to maintain that momentum, and having your carry respawn very quickly is very key for that. But okay, so do I finally have time to talk about my dreaded build of Razor Pipe Hood and how I normally very hate that, but in this game I love it. And the reason I really hate the build before is because you're putting out a lot of tank item on a carry, and Razor is used to be played as the hardest carry. Like one year ago, like the Razor build of Vanguard Hood, like he was a trialing farmer. He is the hardest carry, and generally he gets out carry because he never gets enough damage in a late game situation. But in this game, he's not that. You got Crobless, you got Invoker, like they will carry their own load. And now Razor is not trying to put the entire team on his back. And he is kind of like the third hero, the tanky specialist. With that in mind, I think it's going to be fine because the DPS output is it's going to be carried by the other teammates. So, I mean, he's more or less like a utility. If the link gets broken halfway through, that's fine. You drain Morphling 80 of his damage, that's good enough. Normally it wouldn't be good enough. Normally you need to drain 200 to actually make yourself an effective Razor carry. Now, yeah, drain 80 damage, that's decent. It's not the best, but that's decent. You're doing some damage with Ice Storm, you're doing some damage with a nuke, you're providing pipe for your team. I'm not sure about the View Booster now. I think that we're getting a little bit crazy in terms of tanky. Like, at this point, I don't think Radiant care about killing that Razor. I simply don't think. Like, he doesn't do enough damage to warrant them. I think I think the Crobolus, I think the Invoker, they are actually more annoying as a hero, and Navi want to focus them. So I really think it should be Ayasha. I really think it should be some other type of DPS item. This is when I started to have a little bit issue with going for the mass tank. But again, they are winning right now. They have the slight advantage. The gold count's about 4,000 gold lead for Dire, 1 kill lead for Dire. It's not the biggest lead, considering that there is a Morphling on the Navi side. It is going to be an EB build, which it might be a little bit of eyebrow rising. Like, why you go EB, especially against a tanky hero, sort of tanky hero. Yeah, very tanky hero now, up to 2400 HP. And Invoker, who is slowly a little bit behind, but he's going to get tank eventually. One of the only feasible way to deal with a Crobless is to try to nuke him down, which EB looks really good on paper, but the time that he got the item is so late that it's actually not very helpful. Now, EB is also good, considering that you're dealing a lot of physical DPS. Ghost deals physical DPS. Right click from Razor is physical DPS. So if you're ever in pinch, well, just drop that EB and you remove yourself from the fight for a couple of seconds, granting yourself a little bit more survivability. I mean, the target he wants to EB right now is Invoker. Invoker is sitting at 1300 HP. He can be nuked down very quickly, and if you can remove him from the fight, that's big time. He's morphing the strength. He's going to be absolutely fine. He is going to take a fringe group. He's silenced. He's not going to be fine. He's going to go down. Question is, does he have buyback? And he doesn't. Hovo's caught without the buyback. He had a Dario Blade, but that thing doesn't do jack squat for you if you're Finn script. And we're going to see some Wall trying to delay. Wall and Fish are trying to delay. Nice vacuum up that. Trying to do a little bit. Is this illegal? I think this might be illegal, but don't think DTS will complain. They're going to use their exorcism and right-click down this Rax. This Rax is going down. And DTS, 35 minutes up in the game because Havos got caught. gonna be up 1 Rax. As I say that though, the exorcism is done. No, they do have too much positional advantage. Blade Mail gets popped here by, all I want to do is fly, and it looks like Treacher's taking a little bit of damage, and he's going to be fine. I don't think Light of Heaven and his team should chase without the Morphling. And on a similar note, I think DTS shouldn't overstay their welcome as well. They should try to do as much damage to the Rax as possible, and they will, and they should back off now. Don't need to get greedy to go for like a second lane of Rax. They can't because the 2 tier 2 are still up. But DTS now fairly comfortable with their positioning. They recently brought down Roshan, so they can't really go back to it. I think they're looking for a bot push after they heal up, after they bought all the items. Now the gold difference up to a 5,000 gold lead, but Navi, despite down by what 2 kills and a Rax, they're only losing by 5,000 gold. 5,000 gold's not that hard to come back, to be honest, especially if there's so many towers are still up. Like Navi is just 1 team fight away from perhaps taking a tier 2 and perhaps taking a Aegis when the 3rd Roshan respawns back. Like they're not that far behind. So again, they have Morphlings, so and this is no unfamiliar territory from Navi. Like they have been in these positions many times. As we see, Hunter got EB nuked down. Shackle shot not gonna latch. It looks like Radiant wants to fight this team fight. Silence on 2 hero. Jackal on top of it right now. Someone teleported out. It looks like DTS on full retreat. Enchantress leading the charge. Doesn't even have the Acceptor, but hey. Enchant and Impedus Walk is good enough. Shackle Shot, that's going to latch onto, vacuum them backwards here, and that's going to be the Fissure on 2 hero as well. They're going to focus on everyone down. Jackal pops a Blade Mail, but he does not care. The Radiant Squad does not care. Darkseer gets a double kill. Great team fight victory for Navi. They really want to push down the tier 2. Unfortunately, they're under so much pressure on the mid lane, so they got to force back. And there's a big creep wave on the top as well. Are they not going to defend their base? They got to just go, right? No, Morphling's like, I want to just push, which is a fair choice as well. He's going to have his teammate to defend. And I talked about early on how Morphling is a very, very strong pressure and pushing hero. You really want to outdo the backdoor protection. Unfortunately, not enough DPS output in this point here, at least not by himself. So he's forced to port back. They did lose 1-2 building here, not the biggest deal. But again, they cannot lose more building because, again, in this late stage of game, can you imagine, like, let's say Morphling gets ganked, and doesn't have buyback? Like, Exorcism would more than enough bring down these buildings if they lose more and more HP over time. So now he's got to be very careful. They really dislike to play this stage of the game, as I missed yet another kill, because they said in numerous interviews that like they hate to play this stage of the game where you make one mistake and that determines how the game goes. And they're in this kind of position, so hopefully they don't land. That mistake that we saw earlier was that where Morphling get caught and didn't have buyback, and one mistake lose you back. So they really dislike that stage game, and they're forced to play this stage game. We on DTS, of course, on the advantageous side, it's going to be pressuring even more so. Now we saw how tank Jackal was, but unfortunately, if you're getting focused by 3-4, I don't care if you have a heart or you have a blame out, you will go down regardless. So DTS gotta be fairly careful. We saw how effective Ethereal Blade was. They nuked down the TIE Hunter, and without the Ravage, really, DTS team fight's not that strong. So it was a very good item purchase on Morphling. Of course, perhaps they're gonna be nuking down the Invoker as well. Just a little bit of nukes, keeping him low. Exorcism is gonna be popped. And Radiant would like to fight this fight outside their base, but can they though? Fiend Script on low ground to high ground. They want to focus on Dendi. Yes, there's a Blink Ice Wall. Where's the Ravage? Ravage did not catch him right now. Morphling got a kill with the EB on Bane. Very nice start of the team fight here for Navi. Looks like the AA is going to be fine as well. They want to focus on the tower. A lot tankier than I imagined. They are going to be Morphling waves in. He wants to get a kill on M. Yes, they do assassinate M as well. And looks like Blade Mail's going to get popped. They are going to lose a base tower, but I do believe Navi has successfully defended this. Mag in a little bit of trouble. He's going to have Force Half in just a couple of seconds. Do we have detection? No, we do not. Shackle shot, power shot. They're going to try to keep bringing him down, but I think M's going to be absolutely fine. They want to chase even more lagging heroes. It's not going to be enough. And yes, we are seeing the effect of this Ethereal Blade. Perhaps that was the best item purchase that Hovos could have gotten. I thought Linkenser might be a little bit safer against a Bane Elemental, but Ethereal Blade Shotgun, which is so effective. The Fiend's Grip on Windrunner, that would have been a key to assassinate Dendi before the team fight happened, but it wasn't because the shotgun brought Bane down. In the previous team fight, it brought the TIE Hunter down. So really good target choosing by Hovos, and that's what keeping them in the game. 40 minutes in, And you can see that Crabble is starting to lose his steam as we have 2,500 gold on Morphling. Now, because Morphling's team is down by 1 Rax, even though he's got 2,500 gold, he's probably... Ooh, he's going to steal the haste with EB shotgun. Nice. That's 1 more kill added to the pocket of Morphling. Very happy to pick that one up. More free farm time, as DTS definitely have to wait for Invoker to really push with that. So DTS is losing a lot of momentum. It's looking more and more like Navi's game to win. We see Bane Elemental hitting just level 11. He definitely wanted to get his Enfeeble. I mean, Morphling's hitting pretty hard. Now, Morphling could, of course, Manta out of it. But still, Enfeeble is just one more way to deal with the big DPS output of Morphling. Invoker has to disconnect the game, and that's going to be give me a little bit of time to drink a little bit of water. Well, this is that was a long pause. That should have been enough time for you guys to look at what items. Gem is up. He's going to be going for the point booster. This is the old replay, but not that over replay where Acceptor also made illusions of the enemy. I mean, of your teammate, sorry. Always made illusion of the enemy. TIE Hunter coming around, Dendy on the high ground. Is Dendy seen? Is this their wards? Can't see Shadow Shot 2. Seems like Navi is wanting to go on the offensive, keeping on pressure, but look at what Morphling's doing. They really want to force this kind of a dueling push, if you will. Morphling baits a couple of heroes on the mid lane, and they're not going to try to destroy this tower now? I don't think they will. Yeah, they're going to do as much damage as possible. Light of Heaven didn't even get picked up by that short tornado. Maxing Exhort was Invoker's build. Nowadays, Maxing Exhort is not the build to go. Putting more points into Wex is the skill build of the current Exhort Invoker. Again, a very trendy thing. Looks like they're going to use the Exorcism to go for the Roshan. Exorcism does have a 100-second cooldown, I believe. Let me check on that. 100 seconds on the cooldown. So that means that Navi just brought themselves a little bit more time, but as exchange, Aegis and Cheese on the DTS squad. You give the Cheese to Crop? No, Invoker picked up the Aegis. Razor, the tanky beast, picks up the Cheese. Does he really need more tank? Apparently DTS thinks so. Alright. I mean, if really DTS wants to tank, I would have just went for Acceptor on Razor. Like, it gives you a lot of HP to work with. More than that, it gives you the Eye of Storm's ability to hit buildings, which quite relevant when you're pushing, when you're wanting to end the game like this. That's just me though. Oh, that's no good. They bought themselves another 100 seconds. Again, because I'm pretty sure DTS would not fight that one without Fin Script. So at this point, sure, Navi has bought themselves a couple of seconds, but DTS's goal does not change. They want to apply pressure in multiple lanes and making sure the creep equilibrium is constantly pushed. But this is where the stage of the game where it's so annoying to play against a Morphling because of Replicate, because of Manta, because of, well, Lincoln Sphere if you usually have one. He doesn't have one here. It's so difficult to gank him, it's so difficult to kill him, and he pushes your lane like a bounce. So that alone will keep DTS back. I mean, we talked about not having the Exorcism, not having the Fiend Script, but really, it's Morphling that also is keeping him back. And it's up to 5k gold. He could buy something as well as keeping him buyback. I think he should be going, well, there's a lot of choices. Much similar like a Crop, Morphling has a lot of item choices. He could go for a Lincoln Sphere. It's not bad. Lincoln Sphere is one of those items that as the game progresses, it gets better and better and better, because Lincoln Sphere, where the late game battles last for a long time, you have a high chance of blocking 2 spells in any single engagement, which that's pretty big. Of course, give you more stats to work with. One of the downsides of getting late Lincoln Sphere is the fact that the build-up, which you could benefit from early game, really doesn't mean too much in the late game, and the regeneration doesn't mean too much anymore either in the complete Lincolns. He could definitely go for a Butterfly. He could go for a go for the Eye of Scotty if you want more HP. In terms of, I feel like Scotty might be a little bit better. Butterfly is going to give him even a stronger shotgun, and you could assassinate heroes like Bane, Tide, and The Invoker would, even relative ease, even bigger ease, even more ease. Does that even make sense? Even more ease. I think that's grammatically correct. Although to say that I'm ready to read it in the comment section that it is not correct. But I think Scotty really makes your illusion to be pretty insane. Well, Butterfly makes your illusion insane as well. So what I'm trying to say is either item is going to be good. Obviously each item has its merits. The evasion is actually decent and cannot be ignored. But the more stats never hurts on Morph. So it don't matter what he gets. As long as he gets something and have buyback, he should be good. And right now they're looking for that gank, and not having the Lincoln Sphere will make Bane Elemental a very dangerous enemy. No, that's just a fake one, and hopefully they don't fall for it again. All right, cool. Morphling's gonna wave back out as Navi doing a fairly good job keeping him all the way pushed. So let's see if we have more item progression. X-Scepter is finished. Blink Dagger was up for a long time, but no other items. Hex is finished here on Dendy. 6k go on the Morph. X-Scepter up on Puppy. Pretty late axe, but he's kind of. But despite of not having an axe, we saw how much damage he did without the axe, and he's gonna do a little bit more. Blade Mail on Bane, so he's gonna pop the Blade Mail as he's fin scripting and almost daring the Morphlings like, come at me, bro. Yeah, come at me. Blade Mail up on Tai, he was having it earlier. Jacko has a blade. 4 blades? Are we serious? Are they gonna all pop their Blade Mail and just suicide for Raxus? Hey, that's actually a very legitimate Blink Dagger initiation. Tornadoes. This is some of the shortest tornado I've ever seen in a pro game. 46 minutes in the game. They want to go for the. Yeah, they're not going to go for the. Not a good choice if they do. They are going to go for this. Is Navi going to fight this? They have to, right? Morphling coming in from back. He's looking to assassinate Mag. Mag's going to get shotgun down. No, he gets force up on low ground. He has the Aegis as well, so he doesn't really care. Jacko gets focused. He's going to pop his blade. No, not right now here. Down to half HP. He's regenning it with heart, but right now Puppy doing so much. Puppy's on the high ground. He's so tank at this point. Jacko losing HP. He's gonna be okay for now. He doesn't have the Aegis. Ravage does hit on everybody, but Tie Hunter did get a kill on Arsar. He does buy back immediately right now. Light of Heaven does go down. Tie Hunter gets a double kill. The Rex though still alive. That awesome play comes back alive here with Cheese. I think he's the one that has the cheese. Yes, they do get the melee racks, and now DTS ahead by 2 lanes of racks. Navi, despite having a very farm Morphling, it's not enough. He still is holding to that 6k gold. He does get 1 kill. Now it's cleanup duty. We have the Link on top of the Razor, and he's getting a lot of lifesteal. As we see, Morphling picks up a double. He's looking for more. We do see Crop running away very low HP. He's regenning with the heart. He's trying to regen with the heart. Morphling gets a triple kill as he's chasing down more hero. Then he's looking for more. Can he get off that 4-staff in 10 seconds? He can have the win run. He's going to pop the win run right now. He's waiting for the incoming creep to get a Shackle off. They're not going to chase because now Jacko back down to up to 2,000 HP with the Heart of Sharias regen as well as the Bloodstone. But that was a big suicide of the Rax, but they got the Rax, and that's all they want. But you got to keep in mind that how long those Raxes took. And, they had to push every wave. They had to get the Aegis and cheese, and they barely got the racks. This game is a lot closer than you imagine, despite being down 2 racks. This game's not over yet. Navi definitely could make a late game comeback. They still have that 600 goal on 6k goal on Morphling, but of course, all the advantage on DTS's camp right now. So more item progression check here. 4-staff, X-Scepter, and Blink. Aegis was used, Cheese was used, massive Blade Mail, Pipe, and Vanguard. That's it. They don't have any DPS item kind of increase. And of course we have Jacko going for a very, very late game Hex. I guess they're going to just rely on their spells in terms of Exorcism, in terms of right clicks, or what minimal right clicks, and just try to tank their way to victory. But you can see that it's kind of not really working out that decently. It is going to be Scotty. He does not have buyback gold right now. If you're level 25, you need about 2,600, 700 gold. When you're level 25 and you die, you lose 750 gold right from the get-go. And of course, buyback at this point of game costs 17 something, so he needs about 24 to have a successful buyback. But that's more feeling. You farm so quickly anyways that it does not matter. Heaven's Halberg, more tank. Now, Heaven's Halberg gives you a little bit more utility as well, but Razor is sitting at 22. Oh my god. I think at some stage of the game that you just want to get HP, right? Now it seems like DTS like, no, forget it. Actually, at some stage of the game you just need to get damage, right? That was my rhetorical question, and DTS like, nope, get more HP, get more HP, which is a fair choice. But again, so difficult to get equilibrium going your way now if you're DTS, because Morphling's pushing. He's up to 2300 HP. He's could morph some away if he wants to do so, but nope. Tier 2 tower is gonna get destroyed, and Navi's kind of right back in this game. This game is kind of getting into epic proportion. 2500 HP. Yes, we do have the buyback on the Morphling. I'm pretty sure the entire Navi squad is saving for buyback. Let me check it out. Yeah, 24 on Windrunner, 13 on Enchantress. He won't have the buyback, but if Enchantress gets a couple kills, she will. Arsar did buyback in the last engagement. Gonna go for the Axe Scepter to give yourself even more of an oomph in that ultimate. 1200 gold here on Darkseer. Probably starting to save that buyback here as well. And you cannot underestimate the late game potential of a Darkseer. 140% damage on illusion is no joke. Especially one of that illusion is this guy. Uh-oh, he went for a kill. He used the EB. We have the Fiend's Grip. Is he gonna go Fiend Grip right now? Okay, let's see how long it's gonna survive. Every spell in the book on him. He's got the buyback. No big deal. The question is, will he buy back right now? And sometimes it's actually a very good choice to even just buy back right now to make sure that you don't, lose the pressure. You don't lose the momentum. Similar thing to that Bloodstone discussion, where if your carry is immediately back, the enemy team can't do too much. And the reason that he didn't buy back is because, well, the creep equilibrium is fairly pushed. I mean, the mid lane creep equilibrium is very deep into their base, but no big deal because DTS cannot storm down mid and try to take top because their tier 2 is still up. There's no Aegis up, so there's really no reason for Morphling to buy back. And DTS is not pushing anyway, so might as well save yourself, 1700 gold. So that ended up to be the correct choice. But if I was DTS, again, I'm not DTS and they're better. But if I was DPS, I would just storm down mid. I'd be like, woo, just go mid. And just like come up here, force a buyback, and then get the hell out. But perhaps they may be a little bit afraid. What was an idol? I clicked on something and it was an eidolon. In any case, they might be a little bit afraid that they cannot, retreat because there's a shackle shot, there's a blink dagger, there's a surge. It's so hard to retreat. Matt gets a little bit out of position, but perhaps that's a bait. That is a blink dagger ravage. He's gonna focus on Arzar. Arzar is trying to walk in to drop his Echo Slam. He is gonna drop it just on one. Wall gets dropped. The vacuum on top of everyone. You gotta keep in mind this is done without the Morphling. Navi is having the bash. Bane gets a double. Looks like Arzar trying to orb walk. Arzar's gonna go down as well. Sunstrike's gonna seal the deal. Awesome play. Razor is gonna get the kill. That was a 3-for-0 in terms of team fight. Did bait out the Ravage though, so it might not be all for nothing. The Roshan is back. That is the 4th Aegis. Are we gonna fight? Are we gonna Are we gonna use the Exorcism? Is a question. It seems like they are not gonna use the Exorcism. But as I say that, the Roshan is taking quite a bit of time. Morphling is slowly walking in. He's gonna drop his teleport scroll and go for the steal. I do imagine he's gonna go in for it. Down to half HP. I think they really should have used the Exorcism. I really think they should have, but yeah, Morphling a little bit afraid. He ain't exactly Superman. He dropped his wand, but really they were doing a very good job having multiple layers of heroes keeping him back. And now the Aegis and Cheese will get redistributed. Aegis on Aegis on Invoker again. Cheese on Bait. Tight. Razor's tanking up. He don't need no Cheese. Hex gets finished. No buyback on DTS. Where's La Fromage? La Fromage on Invoker as well. So they want Invoker to be alive. And yeah, he needs to be alive in that team fight. He is really like the last kind of resemblance of any real disable. Like there's Ravage, but you really need like Ice Wall, really need Deafening Blast, EMP Tornado, like all of them would be good. Morphling delaying that top push as long as possible. DTS, they sense blood in the water. With the Aegis and Cheese, they want to go for the win right now. And is Navi prepared? That is the question. They have about 700 gold that Morphling could spend, which that means he can't get any real item with it. Unless he wants to ditch the buyback. I don't think he will though. Arzar, no buyback. Puppy, no buyback. Dendi, no buyback. He got himself a Chrysalis. Wants to do the DPS. He does have the Hex. Looks like they want to initiate Jacko. Jacko does not have the Aegis. Tornado, that's going to slow down Dendi. And he might be in a little bit of trouble, but there's a blink, so he should be fine. Again, pushing them out. Meanwhile, illusion of the Darkseer. Pushing back. I think Morphling made a Enchantress illusion earlier, as we see a Blink Initiation going against the Morphling. Matt gets focused, but he has the Aegis. Nice vacuum into Echo Slam. Bravo gets dropped here. Jacko pops his Blade Mail. He's going to work. Arzar losing HP very rapidly. M comes back alive. He's down to half HP. He still has the cheese right now. Crop gets 1 kill. Light of Heaven is going to get brought down as well. How much damage can a Morphling do? That is the question right now. Dendy right clicking on the background. Awesome play. Losing HP very rapidly. Jacko's going to go down. Fiend's Grip on the Morphling. Morphling's going to go down. He does have the buyback. He's going to have to use the buyback right now. Jacko will be able to regain all his HP after the ghosts come back, and looks like Dandy's gonna go down as well. That's 4 death. Morphling by himself. He gets 1 kill off the Ethereal Blade. Now he's gonna be on the run here. How many stuns does Invoker have? And the answer is about 1 billion, as he drops off a cold snap right now. They're trying to slow down the Morphling. Morphling at 4,000 HP. So little armor though. He's gonna be fine. He's gonna wait for him out. And looks like DTS wasted a little bit of precious time chasing that Morphling and not pushing that creep wave. Meanwhile, they go on the mid and bot slowly pushing in. Morphling's got to morph everything back to agility if he wants to do right-click damage. No, he's just using his item to do the damage. Just not enough right now. Trying to bring down the Tidehunter. Tidehunter says, "Low, I'm so damn tanky. We're up to 4,300 HP. Oh, he's going to go for an EB shotgun kill. Yes, that will do enough damage. He is one-man army by himself, still delaying this. Shaker's back. Darkseer's back. Enchantress is going to be back real soon. And Navi, believe it or not, they hold. They hold after that 4-star of a team fight. That's a Quabble's illusion that they are chasing the hell out of. And Morphling is getting all his stats back, up to 1900 HP. Will be going for the butterfly now, I imagine. Or perhaps crits. Not too bad of an item choice, considering that all his illusions are beefy as hell and will be doing quite a bit of damage. But for now, all the Radiant has lost is a tier 4 tower and a tier 2 tower and a buyback on the Morphling and a couple of deaths, which is not instant win, but the end of the day is Navi still holds and the game still goes on. Item check. Not many real item, many big item. We have a plate mail on Light of Heaven, which is a good item choice, giving more survivability. And I mean, I talked about how these guys are going for the tank items and they're not going to be doing enough damage. I mean, despite of what I said, they still do enough damage to bring down, I mean, a pipe Darkseer. That's fairly tank. But that was a very good start of a team fight for Navi. Vacuum into a 3-man Echo. Wall gets dropped down. Morphling assassinate people left and right. But it was just not enough. Because, I mean, Exorcism, still 60 minutes in the game, quite relevant. 17 Bloodstone charges. If you guys don't know, if you're level 23 and you have 23 Bloodstone charges, you immediately respawn. Or at least I think that's how it works. So 17 means that he's only going to be dead for like 20 seconds. So if it's ever the case he gets up to 23 or 25 Bloodstone charge and he has enough gold for a Breach Travel, he could just respawn immediately, sell treads, and BOT back. But now keep in mind that if you respawn back, you know your exorcism is gone. So not really that relevant to have a death prophet back. But he has mech, he has hex, so he's sort of relevant, I guess. DTS pushing the mid lane, making sure the equilibrium is constantly there. And it's going to be a home of the Dominator, which generally I'm not the biggest fan of on Morphling, because I feel like in most cases he's so tanked that he's really not going to need an extra lifesteal. But in this game, it makes perfect sense because he's not that tank, as we see initiation on Puppy, but it is the bait. Another great start in the fight, and we have a counter initiation with the Blink Ravage. Morphling is slowly coming right now. All the blade mail being popped. It looks like we have Shaker going the first one down. Cheese gets popped here, and that does bait out the shotgun here. Is Morphling going to be okay? It's going to bait out the silence, as his team doing a little bit of a decent job in terms of baiting out all these ultimates here, focusing on the Tidehunter. Morphling, oh no, Dendy is going to try to do the right clicks. Morphling gets 1 kill on the background. Dendy gets 4-sap on the high ground. Light of Heaven's going to run out here. Sunstrike not hitting. Morphling, where the hell is he? He's in the middle of the team fight. His damage gets drained right now. He's silenced. He's slow. He's losing armor. He does not have the buyback. You got to keep in mind, can you keep him chasing? The second Hex comes in. It looks like the Morphling is going to go down. No buyback here. And will his team be able to defend? Exorcism is running out fairly decently, but at this stage of the game, that Rax is not going to stand in line for for a long time. Ravage or not, or excuse me, Exorcism or not. Shackle Shot does hit onto Awesome Play. Will he be going down? He's so tanky. 2 crits on Dendy will bring him down. Dendy using his Windrunner, trying to do as much right click damage. He's walking right back into that. But look at how tank Jacko is. He's tanking pure damage orb hits, but he just does not care. But they do kill Mac again, or yeah, they do kill Mac again. Jacko not doing enough damage. He's gonna be slowed down. He's gonna go down. There's nice Hex. Arza comes back. He's got the blink. He's got the fissure. Where the hell? He where the hell did he blink to? He blinked to the right? But they got the kill against Jacko regardless anyways. He was looking for more heroes. But somehow, Navi holds again. Morphling died in that engagement. Didn't have buyback. And normally in all cases, that would have been it. Enchantress carrying his team. Dendy buying crits carrying his team. This is what makes Navi such a scary team, where they lose the strongest hero, but they repel the push. And that can be said is due to the hero that DTS has got, because DTS, without the Eye of Storm, without the Lightning, without the Exorcism, they're not really real heroes. And that's fair because they're all buying tanky items. And that's a fair point, but still, like, not having Morphling. And Morphling will have the buyback cooldown timer ready, so all he has to do is farm up to about 2,700 gold, and he should be ready for the next team fight. And the question is, will he have the time to farm that 2,700 gold? You got to keep in mind that he's pushing against these big creeps, which don't give jack squat in terms of gold intake. So he's gonna have a long while before he actually get that gold. But we'll see. We'll see. DTS, of course, they have a little bit of time to think about what they want to do. Boots Travel gets changed up here by Death Prophet. So she is truly as decked out as possible. Perhaps you could sell the Blade and go for a Shiva's Guard, but Blade's been doing actually a lot of work as well. And I think they have to wait for the 6th Roshan. As annoying as that might be, they have to wait for the 6th Roshan. You can see that Morphling at the beginning of team fight going for the Invoker. The only reason that Invoker survived in that last engagement was he popped the cheese right from the get-go. Or he could go for a BKB, although he doesn't really have the gold to do so. He's missing 1900 if he wants to go for the BKB. And I really don't think DTS want to farm for 1900 gold. Roshan, I don't think it's back for at least 5 or 6 more minutes. Again, in the new spectator mode, after the new patch, there's a new clock. It looks really cool when you can see when Roshan spawns back, but unfortunately not here, so I merely just guessing. Right now DTS losing a little bit of momentum as Radiant pushing it out, getting a little bit of buyback, about 1,000 gold. Let's see.
Double damage.
No, he needs 2,700, 2,750. His buyback cost is up to that 2k gold. If you guys don't know, buyback cost is determined by how the equation of the buyback is takes into factor of your level as well as your what minute it is into the game. So if the game goes on longer and longer, the buyback cost would slowly increase based upon time. 2,800 gold here on Death Prophet, max out in terms of item, saving for buyback, and of course M is still farming, perhaps going for a Butcher Travel, but Butcher Travel not really that useful, to be honest. Butcher Travel is very useful if you have buyback gold, which he doesn't. He can only have go for Butcher Travel or buyback, not both. So I think he should just go for HP at this point. Now, for what kind of HP, that is a good question. Perhaps you could just go for a Hood, Linking Hood, against the EB. Doesn't sound like a good choice though. Go up to a Reaver, go for Lincoln Sphere. Maybe, yeah. BKB is what he wants to get though, but it depends on how quickly DTS wants to push. At this stage of the game though, like, Morphling is slowly getting up to that goal. He still does not have the buyback. He cannot get caught. There's double hexes on the Radiant side. You don't want to mess with that. He's got to forfeit the Aegis, I think, to the Misa. Meanwhile, DTS pushing. Is it gonna force someone to go back at the very least? Enchantress or walking like a boss. Aegis, cheese. No one picks it up. Invoker cell tree. Invoker picks up the Aegis. Cheese, what did he drop? He dropped a Blade Mail. No, Cheese is still up. As we see, tower gets destroyed on the top lane here. They're taking too long to decide, and the Rax is going to go down. The range Rax went down, which doesn't mean Jack Squad, but a Rax is a Rax. That Rax is worth 300 gold. Then they lasted that one. Looks like Tando blinks in as we see these guys a little bit spread open. DTS might be on the verge of defeat. He pops his blade mail, and he's gonna go down. Where the cheese is still standing there. No one picked it up. Razor goes down. DTS. Oh man, they gotta wait for at least a full minute. Navi not gonna push for now. They got what they want. They delayed the push for 2 minutes. Razor buys back. Okay, and they're gonna go for it right now. Can they get it? That's the question. Aegis is on Invoker, so he's doing all the dirty work. A lot of gold being spent on the Invoker. What is it? It's a Breach of Travel. I don't know why the Breach of Travel is good. Like, it does not make any sense. What, are you going to GP to defend top? Because if you die, you don't have gold for buyback. A Divine Rapier purchase on Dendi. Yeah, this is the last stand. For going buyback, he's going for the Divine. He's hoping that the enemy team does not see him hold that Divine, and he could do right click. He's got Crystalist. He will right click. Dendi's got Balls of Steel, and I really respect him do that. And now Morphling, that's a lot of attention off of him, because he could basically play like a frontline tank. As we see Dendi, he cannot get hexed upon. Looks like they want to fight this right here away from the Raxes. Invoker going on the Rax. The right click goes on Dendi. Dendi, look at him! Critting for 600. They're going to bring down Jacko. No! He is EB'd up. Can he actually right click? The Blink Ravage going to be cast. No Ravage. Looks like Dendi gets 4 sat back. The Meta Rax going to get focused. Meta Rax is going to go down. Earthshaker gets 1 kill. Morphling gets 1 kill. Max going to get focused down. He does have the Aegis of Immortal. Then he gets Cycle in the air. He's going to go for the right kick. Jacko's going to go down. Ty goes down. Everyone's dead. Navi on the verge of victory. 800 crits here. And looks like the Meta Rax still... What? What? Wow! I guess Navi as surprised as I am, because they did not pay attention to the drone. I thought the drone wasn't okay. I thought they defended the Rax and they're gonna just go push mid for the win. But the endless siege, and that's why it's so important to keep your buildings up on the mid lane. Wow. Navi had the game, but the throne at the end of the day was destroyed on the Radiant side. What a game. Some crazy stuff. Whew. Well played, DTS. Again, Navi just showing that they can defend this Divine Purchase. Most Windermere player would not even have thought of that, but that was some big play. Unfortunately, it was not enough, just a little bit away. And those are some back-breaking losses. DTS will take this game in spades. Some of the most random item purchase. But hey, it worked. So congratulations for DTS for pulling one away from one of the best teams in the world. And thank you guys for watching this commentary. It was intense. Have a lot of fun casting it. Hope you guys enjoyed it as well. Until next time, this is Luminous, signing off. See you guys.